crank up the volume because you're about to enter the realm of rebels and rock stars. Unleashing the thunder from down under the stage. We're diving deep with a deviance of melody, rhythm, and chaos. Now push up your sleeves and get ready to dive into the pit. It's time for Sitting with the Slimy Bastards, Music Edition.
So with that being said, guys, welcome back to the Slimy Bastard Podcast Show. I'm glad to have you guys back on.
Thank you.
Down here in New Orleans again. We just spoke back in October, and I can't thank those that have been involved with this and helping me along the way. And of course, thanks Gary and Andrew and everybody, and of course you guys. With that, I got a first-time guest with me, personal friend I've grown up for quite some time with, just like an older brother to me. We raised a bunch of hell. They only write a book on some of the shit we've done and concerts we've been to and all that. But we got Slutenhofer in the house with us, come all the way down from Iowa with us. So with that, welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us again, man.
So new video coming out here on June 25th. Song coming down. Let's get into that first and foremost. Great video. I seen it yesterday. Looks awesome. And first off,
that's our guy Rob. You know,
yeah,
he made us look young. That's good.
Records, you know.
But you didn't look on me.
But also,
video. Wait till you always look pretty. You know, they always show you knuckles. It was pretty cool. Let's see your knuckles.
And then you see the typo logo right there.
Yeah. That's always on display.
But your daughter helped out with the video.
My daughter, she shot it in my living room. You know, I ordered that. I forget what the stuff's called, the backdrop shit.
Green screen?
No, she had a technical name. She went to film school, so she told me what to get. We did it in like one afternoon, you know, with her HD camera. So that's killer.
Yeah, the video looks awesome. It sounds good. Something else with it. I can't wait for it to be released. Just because I think a lot of people are going to like it. The design. What Rob even did was fantastic.
Yeah, I think we really needed to do something more than we did. Two performance videos around with Dustin's on performances, which is great. You know, Holder Beast is great, like director, and these shots are really rapid and makes it really interesting. He's great, but we need to do something a little different this time.
Yeah,
not so much with a storyline, but something visually different.
Right.
So with their attention through the whole thing, that's what, you know. A lot of times you want to nod off in the middle of them, just listen to music, but this video just catches you and it holds you there the whole time. So it's pretty.
Well, you keep a lot of cuts and shit. You know, it's better. I find it.
Yeah, it's easy to make even just small little clips with it too, just on, especially in the digital world. You know, but so yeah,
it's really important to have something visual, especially these days for YouTube and stuff. You know, I love it. I like you know, watching back after we're done with the videos how it came out. So. Watch more about, you know, feeling through the
Yeah. So we're back down here in New Orleans. You guys are recording here, and we are in OCD.
Well, we're rehearsing right now. We ain't up to the recording phase yet.
Yeah. But you guys are in the studio. That's your goal down there to finish recording down here for the rest of the month, right?
Yeah. Andrew gave us 1 month.
On into July, technically.
We need 3 songs to complete an LP. So, you know, I wrote a couple of things, like half songs, quarter songs, to start it off. We're completing it here. We just completed 1 full song today, which I'm really happy with.
Very productive.
Stein came up with the sludge riff to friggin' bring it into double time and make the song explode halfway through. And so
now we have 29 days to do the other 2 songs. Only 29
one or the other. Either like,
that's how.
Under the gun or fucking, you know. It's like, well,
we still got to, you know, go through the process of whatever those songs are going to take. I mean, not everything is just going to, I don't expect everything to come like in one day immediately.
No, I didn't do that. I mean,
so, you know, whether it takes 2 days and 3 days or whatever, but like once we're done with the development problem, then we got to start recording it. This is a whole nother can of worms.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you start recording it, you start realizing things you didn't realize while you were rehearsing it. You know, it's a process, you know, and it takes energy and concentration and dedication.
Well, now the other thing too is just the time schedule with Johnny and Kurt and all that. Is he on the road?
Well, he's home. He ain't doing shit, so he's
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Johnny's
Studio only until August.
yeah, so he's going back and forth.
Down studio.
I'm leaving in the morning.
Yeah, he's going on a weekend plays, weekend gig, and then
Where are you playing, Johnny? What's the show?
Where am I going? Going to
Pennsylvania.
going to Pennsylvania.
So you go all over with Quiet Riot and all that.
Yeah.
Done a lot of casino stuff and
Yeah.
everything and all that. What's the crowd's been like lately with that?
The turnouts are really strong. It's I'm surprised because like a lot of the places that we play, it's like literally in the middle of nowhere. Like
Yeah.
there's no way that people are going to be here. And then when I step on stage, the place is packed.
Right.
in the middle of nowhere, people are ready to do something.
Like, yeah,
It's true.
Yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere in Iowa.
they've got it
So,
figured out, man.
ready to
Like,
rock,
yeah. And I mean, of course, I'm always pleasantly surprised. But yeah, I mean, there were some of these places like like we'll fly somewhere and then we'll literally drive for like a few hours to get to like a certain casino or and I'm like, there's no way there's going to be people here tonight. It's like nobody knows about this place. And then step on stage, the place is packed, and people are like they're out to have fun.
Yeah.
They take their fun very seriously. And the shows are great. And, it's a lot of fun.
So and I seen you back there, and I think it was the end of October that I've seen you up in Wisconsin. There was Quiet.
Yeah, I was in
Great
Wisconsin.
show.
I was in Wisconsin last weekend.
Yeah, now that I'm working again, I can't go. I can't be spending all my time. I run into shows and all that like I once used to. But,
Yeah, adulting gets in the way of a lot of things, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sucks, But having kids, I would change the world. So, and speaking of which, happy anniversary to my wife today, celebrating 10 years.
Oh, today?
Here on your anniversary.
Today, 12th?
Yeah.
This might this
Me and my
your
wife.
last one.
What's funny is it's me and my wife's anniversary. 26 years married.
Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah,
We've been through some shit.
it's June 12th, right?
That's all and cream, and just like any other marriage, and you guys know what. No, happy anniversary.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you for letting me do what I do, because amazing mom, amazing with my kids and everything. So
That is an accurate way of putting it. She lets you do what you do.
yeah. Well, there's a little hesitation there. She's seen what I wanted to do in the last couple of years, and this is where I've been. And people ask me all the time, how did you get hooked up with the guys of Tycho and Crowbar and Down and that? I just asked a simple question. And it's Stu Spalding, just, hey, love to do a podcast, and this is where it's ended up. And yeah, pretty cool. So
And now you're spending your anniversary.
And Harahan will be
Heckler's in the back here, but
How long you been married?
10 years will be 10 years.
How long were you together before that?
See, we got together in 2013.
Now we're going to interview you.
Actually, we'll be interviewing as a team.
We're here to fuck shit up. What do you say we interview you?
All right. Yes, that's a.
about your marriage.
Well, where do we begin?
How much money you make? I'm not going to answer that question. Step brothers. Maybe tuxedos.
Hey, you guys had tuxedos.
Interview you.
Oh, what you sold yours to help for us?
Yeah, everything done.
Yeah, I sold it for charity.
Yeah.
I had the suit, yeah, and then I auctioned it off and donated it to the
That was
dog
the
rescue.
only suit I ever had that fit me right, because they fitted it. Remember, they fitted us. They had that.
I got mine at Banana Republic.
You got a custom suit. You went to
Yeah,
that.
I went to Banana Republic. I think I had the slacks. I had to get the jacket. I had to get the matching jacket.
So speaking of which, I've always wanted to know this, Kenny. And I've talked to Spalding about this a couple times.
What is your pants leg length?
Which are insane.
No, but in all seriousness, so I'm not going to go into the whole when's typo negative getting back together, reunion show, all that BS. But one thing I wanted to know is, let's say they're fast forward 2027. You guys are doing one pop-up show for the fans, everything, just this one and done, and that's it. What's a song that your whole catalog that you never got to play, or maybe you have played but not a lot, that you would add into that set that you guys for the question
For typo, you mean?
yeah, typo stuff. But what if you did like say you did a reunion show, you guys are at the helm of this, right? What's the song that you guys would play that you guys have never played, or that you love to, that you would love to play
Be
live?
my Druidess, of course.
Oh, come
Come on, no brain.
You see a team from universities.
I don't know. What didn't we play? That we like?
We didn't play a lot of our catalog.
Most of our catalog.
There's tons of.
You never get Peter to play anything.
Yeah, there was like
I don't know. There's so many. It's always hard pushing in, to anything new.
I mean, there were songs there were songs in the catalog that I really liked, and there was no way that Peter could ever play them live. Like I always loved the song Red Water. Great song. I don't know how it would come across live or
It was
anything.
a bit slow.
Right.
Well, I mean, we did a lot of slow stuff live, but usually it was kind of like counterparted by double time part of it. It was a bit hardcore. I don't think there's anything in that song like that.
No, I mean, not really so much. I'm just thinking of songs that I liked.
Could have worked into a medley.
But there was no way, like, anytime, like, you mentioned, there were a lot of songs that were really good songs that Peter found to be
Nettie.
very personal.
Nettie.
Right. Nettie was probably like one of my favorite songs on Life is Killing Me record. There was no way he was ever going to play it live.
Oh.
Because it was always like, like whatever, it was too personal to him.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm not going to do this to myself every night. I'm going to sing this song every night.
It is a great song. Probably
It's
my
a great
favorite
song. It's
album.
really simple, and it's got a great melody line, great hook to it and stuff. But lyrically, it was very personal to him. So he was like, I don't want to be reminded of these things, where I have to sing it every night.
Right.
So
I would definitely do some stuff off the last album because we never got to do any.
I mean, there's like a bunch, but there's so many songs, and where you would be like, wow, this is a great song, and you wouldn't necessarily think about it, say, where it would be something that would come across well live,
Right.
because there were songs like that in the catalog that were really challenging. There was so many things going on. And it was impossible for four of us to pull it off.
Sometimes we just sucked at it.
Yeah, we're just
sometimes you try a song and it just doesn't come off
like Green Man. I remember we were trying to play Green Man.
That's a great
So
song.
we were trying to put it in the set. And so we're trying to work it up at rehearsal, and none of us could play it. It sounded atrocious.
Sometimes, yeah.
I mean, like,
It made it through one rehearsal and they got scrapped.
it's a thing with me and other shit. It's like people are like, why don't you ever play such and such? I'm like, we try,
I can't.
Yeah, we don't know how to. I mean, we can always go figure it out. Might take a while, but some songs are just like once you start building up. Like Crowbar's got 12 fucking studio records now, and it's like, there's a lot of stuff on Down 2 that I love, and a few things on Down 3 that I really like that we just don't play. I mean, you got to give the people what they want, of course, but at the same time,
You have to give the standards. That's part of it.
Right, like for instance, there was no way that we could ever do a typo show without playing Black Number One, Christian Woman, Love You to Death. There's like a handful of songs that we were always going to have.
We always did Gravity too off the first record.
And if we didn't, it would have been a problem.
Right.
And those songs, like just mentioning that handful of songs, that's like 45 minutes of songs right there.
We did them good. Those songs,
it's true.
they were well. They were well done. Just could pull those up.
I mean, we talked about it. It'd be like, we shouldn't play Black Number. But people would get fucking pissed off.
They're pissed off no matter what we did. Remember that?
I mean, they would get mad anyway. There was always kvetching. Oh, you didn't play this song, or you played the same songs again.
What was that called at the time? It was online, some kind of fan club or some shit. And oh my god,
Well, as much as you guys put out there, I mean, where do you pick and where you don't pick? You know,
But-
you're never going to make
but
everybody
after,
happy.
like you get to a certain point, and there are songs that you're gonna have to play.
You got to.
You're married to them for the rest of your career.
When you make a
That
song
doesn't
that's
matter.
that strong, you have to commit. You're gonna. That's it. You're strapped to it.
Absolutely.
It's like having a baby, having a kid. You're strapped.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
true. I know the feeling.
So out of that, is there one that you dislike playing live for you?
Oh yeah,
Your girlfriend's girlfriend.
Girlfriend's
Hated every
girlfriend.
fucking
Hated
time
it.
I ever played it.
Oh, really? Why? I just out of curiosity, why?
It's not one of my favorite songs.
By the way, I love in the DVD, the audio of the commentary on the backside of it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines of all time. Peter's like, I remember the construction guys across the street. Hey, dump the fag and come sit on my face.
So yeah, that really happened. Yeah, yeah.
Which, by the
They,
way,
they,
the
were, they
one-
were filming the sequence when Peter was walking with the girls, and some guy yelled at them from a car.
Yeah. His cousin and I, we all did all this shit. We all went to your guys' shows all the time. I mean, every one of you guys. And that's we would watch that DVD over and over just because we'd laugh our asses off at that behind the commentary stuff.
We're funny guys. We're genuinely funny people.
But
We got that from Mystery Science Theater 3000. That show. I really be a fan of that show. I was like, let's do a Mystery Science Theater thing.
which, in all reality, though, were you guys one of the first ones that kind of did a DVD like that with the commentary on the backside of that?
I'm not
Because
sure.
as a band,
I'm not sure.
Probably.
I mean, it was
That'd
done
be
with
an interesting
movies
thing
and
to look
stuff
up
like that.
because I
Yeah,
think-
but no, movies in Mystery Science Theater 3000, but I mean,
Because
Like the concept wasn't original.
Huh.
Maybe in the application of doing it with
With
a
a rock
band,
band,
with
yeah.
a home video, that might have been.
probably.
Because it's an interesting deal, really, because at that time, that's when DVDs first started coming out, right? And so,
That one's
When they were
gold.
starting doing
Yeah,
it
we
out,
got a
Oh,
gold
DVD,
50,000.
we got a gold plaque out of that.
oh, no kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with
Genius.
the commentary on the backside of that, though, I mean, that's when that stuff was starting to happen with the movies, the bigger name movies and that. So when
Well,
you
the
guys
movies
did
they
it-
had been doing it for a while, and that's kind of
right, but I'm
where we
talking about
got
the
it
music
from.
side of it. You guys
Yeah.
had to have been one of the first ones that ever did that.
Band-wise, maybe.
Yeah.
Remember the story with the broom? The venue wanted to charge us $80 for the broom because you threw it out to the
$80
crowd.
for a broom. Fuck
to the
that
crowd?
shit.
And then Mike Amato went out into the venue after the show was over and found the broom and gave it back to them.
They were gonna charge me $80 for a broom. I know the cost of a broom.
I don't know if it's something we should take credit for.
I don't know.
I'll take credit for it.
Some people may not like it. I think it's really stupid.
Kurt, I seen you on the Down show on my 50th birthday out in Vegas in March, and that
Oh yeah,
for Danzig and that
yeah.
is an awesome show. Sounded great. Both bands sounded great. How was
Play
it?
new stuff.
No.
Yeah, you haven't issued the album to come out. You I would play new stuff, and the album's been out for 3 months. Oh yeah, we're out here supporting a record. We got to play new songs. Remember that?
I wouldn't play a song until it was released.
I
We
mean,
would never play new material.
we like with Crowbar in the early days, but I mean, we're an underground band.
And you know where it came from? What was it? Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
Peter and Josh went
went
to
to
go
a
see
Black Sabbath show. They played new songs, and
They played new songs, and Peter couldn't understand. He was like, "I'll never do this."
Really?
I mean, we just these
He's
days.
Sabbath and Van Halen on Never Say Die tour.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean, these
and
days-
Peter was like, I couldn't understand the songs they were playing.
I mean, like we tried new shit out live with Crowbar before it came out, but nobody had. It wasn't all on videoed. Every fucking song was videoed, and all of us didn't have any of that bullshit back
Right.
then.
Mhm.
Cell phone, social media, and all that kind of crap. So it's different. Like bands like Zeppelin and shit would play songs before they were released.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
They were writing songs on stage.
Yeah.
no, they basically, yeah, but they would. You know
Zeppelin
what?
2 was completely worked out live while they were touring in the States.
Wow, I know they
They would go
recorded it.
record.
I'm about to watch it with my wife as soon as I get home.
You've been
I'm
saying
excited.
that all week.
I snuck in 18 minutes while she ran to the store last night, but I'm still at them as kids,
Right.
and
It's on my third time I watched it. I
Yeah.
watched it in the plane.
I'm gonna be
Yes,
end up-
playing right again.
she's going to a dance tomorrow to have lunch with him, so I'm gonna end up watching it, again tomorrow. I already know that, but yeah, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, Nothing. You know, watching the Led Zeppelin, and she goes, "Well, I want to watch it." I said, "Babe, I'm 18 minutes in. They're just like starting. They're not even a band. They're just, starting to play out in public as kids and young dudes, teenagers, or whatever.
New Yardbirds.
I haven't even gotten that far.
Huh.
There was still
He's up
all
there with Jimmy.
individual.
Jimmy's just got his first gigs playing,
Yeah, John Paul was, starting to get gigs and shit.
His parents were in vaudeville. It's crazy.
I know. Well,
We watched them perform every year, so we grew up.
I'm around like the point where John Paul Jones was leading the choir.
He got the gig in the choir.
Yeah, 14 years old.
Right, he lied his way into the choir.
Yeah, he did. But he was the choir. He was a head dude in charge. He was 14 years old. And then Robert Plant was talking about a gig with Bonham, and this is the funny part because he's like not only my favorite drummer, one of my favorite musicians of Bonham, and just in general. But and Plant was like, they go back and forth, and John Bonham was saying, I thought everything went good. They only had very little footage of interviews with Bonham. He really didn't do them, and he died. Yeah. But some guy was telling Plant, like, you were good, you need a proper drummer back there, or some shit like that. And I'm thinking to myself, I guarantee even at 16, he had to be a killer, because, fuck you. When you're that good, you got to be,
Those guys were 20 years old.
Him and Bill
Ward
Ward were friends as kids.
Him and Bill Ward?
And they used to, like, tech for each other.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, like they would, if Bill had Bonham would come to the gig with him,
man, I got you.
Like help him like tune his kit and stuff, and he'd be like, "No, it sounds good," like whatever, leave it alone. And then Bill would go help Bonham play.
That's fucking kill.
Set him up. Yeah, they were buddies as kids.
Yeah, kids. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie.
When the Pantera video came out, 5 Minutes Alone. Did you guys? You guys obviously.
We were in that video, I think, aren't we?
No.
Oh, the original one?
5 Minutes Alone?
And song.
Oh, no. I thought you were talking about their home video.
We're in a bunch of that.
That's what. When you guys seen.
You're in it.
Did you guys.
Yeah.
We're in your guys' church.
Yeah.
And that's when you really kind of start blowing.
So what did it funny or did it
The whole video.
I did the 5
Phil literally
shot it in the wall.
and they ended up chopping about 25
Shot it on a sound stage
in this like test
Right.
version that he had. You have got to get over to my house ASAP. We got this new Pantera home video. You're literally the star of the video.
What happened? What did you do on the video? And I forgot.
The Hulk and all that
stuff is the Hulk.
Yeah.
I was at Eagles Auditorium.
Yep, it was. We just played there with the
Funny.
age 16.
Cannot break his. We're destroying every.
Yeah. No, it was
The way. That's fucking crazy.
like time. We would get obviously drunk, and he's like,
It's all
what's if I got some
flips on the stage.
if I got a wig and some makeup and all that kind of shit, and all, would you be like the Hulk and just break a bunch of shit? I said, yeah, man. So like, I don't even. I mean, we were drinking. I guess like maybe 2 nights later or something, we're in Milwaukee and like we're playing and everything's great. And I kind of looked to the side, and whenever Don was on the side, like grinning, I was like, so like I get off stage and like Pantera needs to see you in the dressing room. Like I did something wrong. Oh God, what did I do? So I go in and Dom's like, it's time. I'm like, what? And it's all like all the runners and shit are all like putting on the makeup. He's got the wig, eyebrows, all this shit. It was eyebrows on you. I mean, yeah, whatever.
It's funny, isn't it?
Big Val, God bless him. It's like he's like, are you still in here? It was like after the show, I was in my dad like locker room showers. I'm scrubbing myself raw, trying to get the fucking green makeup shit off. And he goes, Eric, you all right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you're still in the shower? I'm like, the shit won't come off. The fucking week. I mean, I don't even, back then I barely showered on tour, but
Where were you playing?
that was Milwaukee. That was Eagles.
The Eagles on a tour.
Milwaukee.
The Rave.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rave.
Yeah.
Right across the street from the Jeffrey Dahmer Hotel.
Yep.
What's that? Oh, the Rosa. I forget the name.
You ever
Remember that a month ago? Nah, actually, no, a month ago.
Metal Fest, right?
Yeah. We had on it Friday. It was a great show.
Would that be the first tour you guys went on Pantera with?
No, we actually lucky enough to do shit with Cowboys, shit with Vulgar, and then, but the biggest thing we did was that we had just gotten back from like a 7-week tour in Europe with Paradise Lost, and they were really huge over there. It was our first proper tour of Europe. We did a small club one,
7 weeks we did, right?
Yeah, it was 7 weeks, like 42 shows or some shit. But we just gotten back from that, and then we had about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks off, and we went out with Pantera, and we started. Did it start at fucking Roseland?
I was at that show. That's where
that's where we met each other.
That's where Ice-T come out.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if it started there. I can't remember. We started on like right when Far Beyond Driven came out. It might have been like a week after it came out. We did like a month with Pantera, and it was fucking amazing. For everything from New York all the way out to
West Coast.
yeah, we did 2 nights at Santa Monica Civic too.
So Jace was at that show. I didn't get to go, but he came back to us and he's like, "You gotta check out this band Crowbar." I'm telling you.
Yeah, we had heard you, and you guys said
Yeah.
it was like, holy shit, that's
It was different.
Yeah.
I mean,
we love it.
I mean, for everybody.
Well,
They
for
come
us,
around 30-something years later.
for us in rural Iowa, like you didn't hear any of the stuff, right?
Yeah.
So anything you heard was all like in MTV, Headbangers Ball. Underground bullshit, right?
They were kind of on the Headbangers Ball, right? The first song, yeah.
well, yeah.
But I mean, that's
No, all that I gave.
And then Existence.
Yeah, we had 2 on Headbangers Ball and Beavis and Butthead.
This music is slow and fat. This is the kind of music you have on a workout tape if you're skinny and you want to get fat. Yeah. If I could put this on and then just like pig out.
They got the thumbs up from Beavis Spot.
Well, they were
That's a
rocking
big
out.
thing, though.
Rightly so, we were called fat.
Oh, I got you guys.
I'm about 50 pounds lighter than it was in that fucking video.
And I'm not making this up at all because Jason knows this. So my little guy, Maverick, who's 6, seen a Beavis and Butthead clip where Butthead takes that drink of beer and then Beavis takes a drink of beer. He's like, "Oh, that's good beer." So I'm working on we're siding our house at home, right? Working on the house, painting up on one of the window seals, and I looked down and I had a bush light on my central air unit there. And I looked down and he takes a great big old swig and he's like, "That's good beer." He walks down like 3 or 4 steps later, spits it out everywhere, and then runs in the house to get something else, to drink.
The taste of it.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of the Mountain Dew story you told me.
Oh, fuck. That was bad too. And I'm not making this up. It's to this day makes me sick, but
Something you were urine?
what's that? Yeah, but I was drinking a Mountain Dew and I put it back in the fridge because it's in the morning. While I was out mowing the lawn, I come back in. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to have a swig of Mountain Dew," or the next day or whatever. Go grab my Mountain Dew that I knew I had out in my garage fridge. Go take a drink of it. Fucking piss.
Ah!
And I was like, "What the hell's the deal here?" And I'm like, "What the hell?" Well, then I remembered the night before, Maverick was in there messing around. So I asked him, I said, you drink my Mountain Dew, and he has this little smirk that he does.
All right, try to fill it up.
Right, it's trying to fill it up to replace the Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
like
right.
smart kid.
Exactly.
You drink
His
all the
heart
vodka,
was
fill
in the
them up
right
with
place.
water. It's like when you're a kid, you drink your mom and dad's alcohol and fill them back for the water. So they go.
We did that all the time. I was your No.
No.
So
I
what's
guess, I guess it looked more like Mountain Dew.
That's good beer. Yes, sir.
So with this, with the recording and everything, obviously the album, you're hoping to.
So did it taste like piss or what?
What's that?
Did it taste like piss? Or
Oh fuck, it's terrible.
Which piss tastes like?
Johnny, you on strike or something?
Hey, he's getting a beer.
What?
He was on the phone with me when he did it.
Yeah.
I hear him gagging.
You could have drove to the store. I can pop him back, but it's a video.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all.
I can come in and out on the drum.
So what's the next step here when you guys release the album? You guys gonna hit the road, do a lot of promotion on stuff like that, or?
Yeah, we want to do shows. Absolutely. We're hoping to do some festivals in Europe, and do some shows in States. Yes.
Be good. From what we're hearing today, stuff's killer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're enjoying it. Let's have
Yeah,
fun.
it's a little fun.
We got to play for ourselves first, and then hope it works out.
Yeah, that's the truth. I mean, at our age, if it ain't fun, it ain't worth doing.
Right.
I mean, we did a tour with Suicidal Tendencies. You were in the band, see? And I was talking with Mike Muir at like the last show, and I said, "Man, thanks, because they treated us really great, you know, and really great dudes." And he goes, "Kirk, you know, when you get," he's a couple of years older than me, but he goes, "When you get older and like our age and shit," he goes, "if you're not having fucking fun, it ain't worth doing."
Right.
You know, he goes, "I have a blast out there. Like I can tell."
Yeah.
And it's true, man. If I didn't love what I'm doing, I'm 60 fucking years old. If I didn't love what I'm doing, I wouldn't be doing it.
We have a finite amount of time.
It's the truth, and I'm trying to get as much shit in as possible. They call it the last third.
There's more years behind us than there are ahead of us.
For sure.
I ain't living to be 120. I know that.
A friend of mine always says you're like in quarters of football. You're in the third quarter of a game.
Well, they break it into like I'm in my final third. It's called. So I guess it's 30-year spans, you know, like your first up to 60, and then you start, which, you know.
You know, what bands would you guys say? I mean, where you guys have toured all around, been playing opening for, and even headlining your own shows and all. Who would you say treated you the best as far as that advice?
We've always been treated really well, like everybody. I mean, sites treated us shit well. What?
Not really.
Yeah, we're always treated well. I mean, I think that
Pantera treated us the best, but
well, yeah.
I mean,
I was like hanging out with your friends.
With Crowbar, exactly. It really is.
It's like hanging out with your friends, you know. It was,
you're just in a different city every time.
But nobody treated us poorly.
There was no on Pantera. We're the headliner. I mean, you know, it was nothing like that. It was like they were the same assholes we were.
Yeah,
it's easy.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I was kind of pleasantly surprised because Down did 2 tours with Metallica, one in Europe. We did a bunch of football stadiums and shit.
One of them you were on is when I filled in for you. And
yeah, you were with Kingdom of Sorrow because that was what it was. And then
so I remember hearing over the grapevine back one night when we were out there. I said, "Yeah, Kirk got really drunk last night, stripped nude, ran around the way."
Yeah, it's quite possible.
Find that off outfit.
We did. We went to Australia.
John Holmes on
some fucking headline. Went to Australia. Did some headline shows. They flew to Tokyo, did one show, and then flew straight to Arizona, and then started with Metallica the next day. But they were really, really good to us, and you know we had a blast. I mean, look, don't
like Down fans, right? It feels like Down fans,
which is great.
Been treated poorly by promoters.
Yes, still, all of them.
Not by bands.
It can be sold out, and they still treat you like that. You know, not all.
A lot of during that time too, because don't know if it's changed yet or
Always the
not. Really.
middleman.
Are they still taking a cut of like t-shirt sales and that?
They take more now.
Really?
Yeah. Now
Promoters
it's
don't take your
like,
cut t-shirts.
Some
clubs,
the
venues,
venues,
the venues will.
venues,
yeah.
okay.
you know, now like the standard is like 30%.
It's insane, but it's true. That's what people wonder why. You know,
Back phone.
you know, this is a beautiful wife. Gotta call you back, babe. People wonder why. You know, I mean, look, somebody, you know, it's stupid to me because bigger bands charge way more, you know, but
Well, those venues are taking a bigger cut too.
that's the truth. Plus, you know, I mean, when you got 4 merch stands around the fucking arena or some shit, it's a whole different thing. It's a whole different. You got to pay vendors fees and all this kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
But that's why, because they tax it. They take a huge percentage. You gotta like pay vendor, you know, fees or whatever to be able to even sell a product on that fucking property and all this kind of bullshit. So that's why t-shirts are so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, like even with Down, we try our best to avoid Live Nation and shit like that because of stuff of that, you know. But I mean, like we just did.
Bands have a couple of guys come out of nowhere and have them bootleg your own merchandise in front of the venue. Just this guy's doing it all over the place anyway.
It's like, yeah.
And but having your guys out there bootlegging your own stuff.
Irving
Great idea.
does that with tickets.
Yeah.
Who does?
Yeah.
Right. It's true.
Irving Azoff, like
Scalp
Ticketmaster.
tickets.
Really?
They take tickets and then scalp them outside the venue.
Your own show.
Their own shows.
Was it Napalm Death or Paradise Lost in Italy when they were
Paradise Lost.
Italy is a whole different
Well,
yeah.
when it comes to
The
bootleg
the bootleg is
shirts.
actually
They set up
keeping the
light-
shirt on the bus,
Yeah.
on the side, and it's
Yeah, they put the stand against the bus.
Italy, it's tolerated, and Mexico.
Yeah. Oh God, I found out in Mexico City.
When I toured with
Wait.
Black Label, we played in Milan. So it's like they had like the racks of bootleg shirts right outside the bus.
Yeah.
You stepped off the bus and there were Black Label shirts in any color that you wanted. They had like the whole prism.
They'll usually give you one if you go up, you know, but I bought bootleg shirts from Cuff Down.
Sometimes
they look great. You know, I mean, and it's different. It's really a one-off for that one show, you know.
Right.
And there's nothing
And now,
you guys can do
and
to
then,
stop it.
like,
Not illegal.
Really?
Josh tried to stop some, but
And a lot of, you
it didn't
know,
work out too well.
you don't.
he stabbed himself.
He stabbed himself.
Oh, jeez. He stabbed
No,
somebody.
Richard did. Richard stabbed himself. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it at all.
He tried to do a Peter Grant thing.
It didn't work out well.
Like I remember Down was playing Manchester Academy or whatever, the university thing in England, and me and Jimmy went down the street for like some beers before the show or whatever. And I'm like, dude, we ought to get back, you know, and kind of get ready. And they had dudes with duffel bags full of Down shirts. And we started kind of, you know, having words with them and shit like that. I'm like, these motherfuckers are like soccer hooligans or something. We made it back. Like I said, Jimmy, the fun. I'm not kidding you.
You can't fuck around.
No. And they, you know, so
They
we
beat
ran
each other
back
up
to the
on Saturday
venue
for fun.
and like yeah,
That's recreation over there. It is.
What do you think the Elton John song's about? You know,
Saturday nights are right.
that's right. That's what it's about.
Got to get a little action in.
You know, like a lot of this stuff now.
Yeah.
The sad fact is that a lot of this stuff, like, you know, like with merch and like, you know, bands charging for meet and greets and things like that. That's the result of people not buying music anymore.
Right.
Yes,
That's it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, because you guys ain't making nothing. I mean, what is it? A penny per play or something like that? And I
Penny, who's paying a penny?
or that's not.
It's like 0.00.
Line up 10 zeros and then put a 1.
Right.
Frampton, I don't know the exact figures and shit, but Peter Frampton went in front of the Supreme Court of the United States and was like, for like, Baby I Love You Way or one, you know, fucking Show Me the Way. One of the huge hits off of Frampton Comes Alive, and he's like, Your Honor, I'm here, on behalf of the whole music industry. He had like 53 million like downloads or whatever of the song, and he made like $7,000. And the judge is like, "Come again?" And he's like, "Yes, sir. This is the truth." And he's like, I mean, I get people wanting to put. I don't have anything in my phone. I don't even know how to put songs on my phone. That's why. But
I got songs in my phone.
I get people putting shit in their phone, but real fans go, if we want to put Zeppelin or something, since everybody's on the Zeppelin kick, and that's a great thing, in our phone, it's okay, because I own every one of their
Led
fucking
Zeppelin
records.
has gotten my money 10 times over.
Same with Kiss. Every fucking thing.
I'm totally fine putting.
See, I own the same shirt. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I don't know how many times I bought Led Zeppelin 4.
Yeah, it's like, I got like
I
5
went through
Kiss
4
Alive
copies
ones.
of it before I was 16 years old. Really? Yeah, they've gotten plenty of my money. I have no.
And I mean, they don't, obviously, they're not out there performing. So, I mean, it's like we bought all of their shit already. We bought every fucking thing. I mean, with Kiss, as a Ace Frehley fan,
They got plenty of my money too.
No, me too. But I refuse to buy like anything that's not the real Ace and Peter. But mainly Ace. I can look at it and I'm like, that's not Ace. Yeah. I'm not getting it. Like when my wife and I got together, she had like a bunch of rock posters and shit like in her room or something. And she had like Kiss, Sonic Boom or something. And I'm like, what are you doing? We need like a love.
We need to talk.
Yeah, we need
we need to lay down a few ground rules if this is going to work out.
But she gets it, now that she's, works with me and all, she totally gets it.
So with that, I'll get out of here on this, guys. One quick thing where I'm a huge Elvis fan, which any of that, some of you guys know.
Huge Elvis fan.
And anyway, I heard the story. I can't remember. I think it was from you, Johnny. Maybe it was online or someplace, that you guys were out on tour in Typo, and somebody got.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Remember when the guys went on the bus? The 2 guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was easy. They were playing in Memphis, right? And then
2 homeless guys walked on our bus.
On our crew bus.
2 street people.
Yeah.
And so my tour manager and everyone decided to try to challenge them and beat them up. These guys beat the shit out of everybody. I saw my tour manager fly over my shoulder. What the fuck? These guys were super street, man, and they surprised everybody. Remember, it was Moby. They had Moby by the hair.
These guys held their own really well.
So really my tour manager,
he runs out.
God bless his soul. He broke his clavicle.
Yeah, they got our tour manager went out there not really knowing what was going on. He just saw a bunch of people fighting. He's like, "I'm the tour manager. What's going on?" And one of the guys just grabbed him and just threw him into the bus. And like with the bay doors of the bus, just shoulder went right into it, and he broke his collarbone. So the closest hospital that we went to,
Memphis Hospital.
And so we're in the emergency room. He's in a bed, whatever. And the nurses are like, "Oh, you all in a band?" And stuff. They're like, "Yeah."
Elvis was pronounced that right there.
Yeah. Like, you guys like Elvis? We're like, "Yeah, we all like Elvis. Yeah, sure." And they were like, "Well, the room where your friend is, that's where they pronounced Elvis dead." And we were like, no way. And we started taking pictures. I got pictures of us. Mike's laying in a bed. He's all, and we're all sitting there smiling.
This guy, the tour in the lower, I think he slept in the bottom bunk.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing for a busted power.
No.
The bone has to find itself. It's slang.
You can't.
It's like if you ride on the road and you hit the house, busted. I'm rest of the tour, man.
Like, Mike, why don't you go home? No. Finish it,
Who's Mike Amott, right?
Not hang out in Memphis past a certain time. It's about 11 o'clock at night. You were taking.
I took my daughter. My daughter's name is Presley. I actually took her to Memphis for an Elvis deal that they had there. And
don't leave the door of your tour bus open.
It's just risky. There's a lot of fucking street people.
It's really what I was getting to on this whole story, though. It's really weird of how the universe type thing kind of connects. So I'm a huge Typo fan, and that's the story. And my son's, obviously the main Mavericks field rolling. And then with Presley being Elvis Presley, it's kind of cool. It's just that simple tie-in.
Yeah, that was the venues. It was right on Beale Street.
Yeah.
New Daisy Theater. Yeah.
Which, by the way, that's where they say don't go to after dark.
Beale Street.
Yeah.
We played New Daisy. That's the one with since they redid it. It's actually really, really nice.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, it was a cool theater then. You know,
yeah.
It
I
was
mean,
cool then.
we got kind of we played it one time with Dan. It was pretty shot.
Oh yeah.
And then
We played it twice. We played
we
it
supported some
Carcass,
carcass. Okay.
and then we played it
And they
again.
had redone it though. They gave it like a couple of $1 million facelift or something. All new production, all new everything. It
And
was
the police too. They don't fuck around.
Oh, in Memphis?
Oh, they didn't give a shit
The
about it.
the police showed up at the after everything settled down. Right, the cops show up, and then they have us. Everybody's sitting on a curb. And they're like, just sit down and shut up. And the cops were like, whatever, trying to sort out whatever. And one of the homeless guys said something. He didn't even look at him, didn't say a word, just pulled out his mace and maced him. He was like, I thought I told you to sit down and shut up. And the guy's like all jacked up, covered in mace. And he's like, all right, here's what's going to happen. You guys are going to get in your little tour bus and you're going to get the hell out of here. And they took the other guys, like the two homeless guys. They were like, you're going to come with us.
He didn't like our
They didn't lock them up or anything. They just just took them away. Get in your bus and get out of here. This night's over.
He expressed his distaste for both us.
right. That's like Al Moore.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So what tour was that?
Shit. We were on tour for World Coming Down. That was with Pooya. Yeah. Which was how the whole thing started to begin with. The bass player ran on our bus and nobody knew that he was the bass player in Pooya, and they thought that he was a homeless guy just trying to get on the bus.
That's what happened. Yeah.
Well, he thought that his girlfriend was in the back of the crew bus. And the guys in the crew didn't recognize him. And so he comes on the bus, and there were other crew guys crew guys there. And they're like, well, what's up? And he's like, my girl's back there. They're like, no, there's no girl back there. And the guy tried to run in the back of the bus, and then he got kicked in the face and then dragged out of the bus. So there was this whole fight happening outside the bus. And while the fight was happening, the door was open to the bus, and the two homeless guys rolled up on the bus.
That's when you guys
thought they were all together of
the entire crew was not out there fighting. There were still guys on the bus. So there were guys on the bus. The homeless guys were in the stairway of the tour bus. And then the crew came back, and then these guys got cornered on the bus. It was like, what's up? And then there was this huge fight that started. And I remember this was at the time we had a band bus and a crew bus. And I'm like looking at I was in the front of the bus having a cigarette. I'm like, oh shit, there's a fight going on out there. Another fight, because there was the first fight, right? It was like everything was like, let's just squash this, It was like they're fighting again. And then Mike ran out there, got thrown into a bus, and it was all the whole thing. Interesting night. Memphis, a lot of fun.
So with that, guys, can't thank you guys all enough. Thanks for your time. Hospitality. It's been fun catching up to you guys doing dinner and that. I mean, great seafood down here and everything, and it's nice seeing everyone.
Where'd y'all eat?
Where did we go? Listen.
See this silence.
Oh, silence.
Can you call it silence? Silence. Yeah. Silence. It seems like from band silence.
Yeah,
It's silence. That's Phoenix.
Yeah.
Great seafood.
Jason said.
But
It's good.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
really good.
But with that, guys, thanks again. Thanks for checking us out. And of course, thanks Tom's Fishing and Guiding Hunting Tours in Nebraska. And thanks, Gary. And till next time, toodaloo, buckaroo.